Hey everyone, today me and my mom are going to be walking you through a Bunjay chicken recipe. Now, Bunjay is just a style of cooking in which you cook the curry down until all of the ingredients like the curry powder, masala, and so on clings to the meat itself instead of forming a gravy that you would more typically see in a chicken curry. Now, the first thing that I did was wash, clean, and cut my chicken into pieces. I started with 9 chicken thighs and I cut them into smaller pieces as you can see here. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that you can still see some of the water that I used to wash my chicken with left inside of the basin. However, you want to make sure that you dry your chicken as best as possible to allow all of the seasonings to get into that chicken. So I'm going to pat it dry with some paper towel. So now that I've done that, as you can see, it's nice and dry at this point and there's no more excess water. I can now move on to marinating my chicken. All of the ingredients and the measurements that you're going to need for this recipe are in the description box below. To marinate my chicken, I'm going to add some monosodium glutamate, some chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, Montreal chicken seasoning, and lastly, I'm going to add some green seasoning. Now, for green seasoning, all that's in it is green onion, celery, thyme, garlic, onion, and pepper, and it's just been blended up. You'll find the ingredient list to this specific seasoning also in the description box below. Now at this point, I've moved on to working on the mixture that is needed for the Chunkay. Now Chunkay is what we refer to it as in Guyana, but if you're not familiar with this word, you could use the word Saute to get a better understanding of what Chunkay means. Now what I'm going to do is mix together curry powder, masala, turmeric powder, tomato paste, blended up garlic, onion, and pepper, and add a little bit of water. All of the ingredients and the measurements that you're going to need to create this mixture is in the description box below to help you better follow along. Now this mixture is placed into the oil where it cooks, and once you place your chicken inside, the spices infuse the chicken. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean in the upcoming clip.
So we're going to just pour our oil into the pot to get hot, and then once that's hot, we're going to start our Bunjay chicken process. The oil is ready, so what we're going to do now is pour our mixture. So remember, the mixture that we have here is curry powder, the masala, the turmeric, and we had some ground garlic, onions, and pepper. So this tomato paste. So this all gets into the hot oil, and this is the process we call Bunjay or Chunkay. So the reason we want to do this is because we want it to be marinated into the hot oil and infused. So it's browning actually to a point where it loosens up, and that is what gives you the aroma. It gives you the kind of texture, it gives you the infusion of the spices that will get into the chicken in a moment from now. So see how it takes away all that oil, right? That's the Bunjay, that's the Chunkay. All the oil disappear because it infuses into the spices here that we have. That's why you see the Guyanese girl, Bunjay, masala or Chunkay masala. So the color changes from originally when we started like that to a browning color because it actually marinates into the hot oil. So now we are ready to put our chicken into this oil. As you notice, the heat is now on low. So what we're gonna do, we marinated this chicken. It has been marinated and sitting there. All the flavors again. That's the art of getting a proper chicken, Chunkay chicken or Bunjay chicken, is the marination of all the spices infused into your chicken, and then it gets into the pot. And because it was already pre-marinated, you're going to get all the spices now into this chicken. So with Bunjay, what you want to do, you want to be able to leave your curry so that the water from the chicken is cooked through this process. So in a moment, this chicken will start to spring its own water because the heat is actually on the pot, right? So it would vaporize and start to loses its water from the heat. And that's what we want. We want it to be able to do that. And while we allow that to simmer by itself here, we're going to leave it to simmer for about, say, 2 minutes, and then we're going to add the additional seasoning spice to it before any water is added. So right now, we're going to cover this down. Our stove is lower to a low heat here, and we're going to let this all come together, all marinate in its own water for about 2-3 minutes. And as you can see, it's starting to lose its water. And one important thing I need to let you know, in our seasonings, we did not add additional salt because the spices that we are using, they actually have salt in them. So when you're ready to taste, you will taste for your taste bud the salt that you need to add, the right amount of salt. As I mentioned before, the seasoning that we are using, they have some additional salt in them. Hence, we don't put the salt in the meat when we are marinating. So it's getting down to about the 2-minute mark. And what I'm going to start to do now is add the remaining seasoning into this. So we're using some chopped onions, a little bit of celery, some green onions. We're going to use some spice, pepper, and in this case, again, as I mentioned about the salt, we're going to use chicken cube. So chicken cube, as you know, it's all salted. But again, if you want to use more salt, you can just add to your taste bud. And these are just Chinese spice and aji. So we add all the remaining spice. So that's about it. So this is the Bunjay. We're going to let this, cover this again, and we're going to let it sit for about another 2 minutes. Again, it's going to start to lose all its own juices from the chicken, and it's going to cook in its own juice. What we did in this case, we used 2 of these chili peppers. Chili kind of tend to be hot, and we cut one so the one pepper will have the infusion of all the spices in here. We left one whole for those people who like to actually eat their pepper, you know, on their food, like to see that whole pepper in their plate and like to bite into that pepper. That's for that person who loves that. Or if it's too hot, you can always remove it and don't, you know, make it get too soggy into your cooking. Alright, so we'll cover this again, and we will leave it, continue to leave it on low for about 2 minutes, that it's cooking its own water, and then we will open the pot at 2 minutes. Alright, so we're at 2 minutes again, and as you can see, the water starts to produce its own water here, but it's not enough to cook through the chicken. So we're going to leave it yet again for another 2 minutes, and then at that point we're going to add 1 cup of hot water to this to allow the meat to cook through. Now at this point also, if you like to have like potatoes in your curry, now would be a good time to add the potatoes, because the potato would actually cook at the same time of the chicken. So, you know, say 10 minutes the chicken cook for and 10 minutes the potato cook for. So remember I talked to you about the salt intake. At this point I just tasted my curry and it wanted some more salt. So what I do, I'm going to add half of a teaspoon salt to this, and this should be able to give it a nice kind of a balance with the taste and flavor that I'm looking for. So I add the salt into that because again I want all of those bursting flavors to be within my Bunjay. Okay. And you keep it on low because, you know, depending on your stove, sometimes what happens at the bottom of it, the pot, you know, just catches to the bottom of it and then it becomes a bitter taste. You don't want that. You want to always have your heat level at a point where it's actually cooking the food and it's not burning the food. So again, we just cover, very low heat, and we leave it. Alright, so here it is. See, this is what you want. You actually want your end product to look like this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add a cup of water, and we're just going to let our chicken cook in that 1 cup of hot water. I always cook with hot water because you don't want to, you want the same temperature to continue. You don't want to chill your chicken, as they say, right? Remember, if you put cold water in here, you're going to chill that temperature, and it's going to take longer to build back up to a point where it's actually cooking. So we're going to add 1 cup of hot water into this Bunjay, and now you're going to let that cook through. Alright, so this is going to cook through. We're going to cover it again, and this is actually going to be here on the stove for probably about 7 minutes or so. And then we're going to come back in and check it. So in the meantime, if you're cooking at home, you can start preparing your roti or your dal puri or whatever you want to go with it, or your rice. Alright, so here it's 7 minutes into our chicken, and as you can see, it loses its water with the additional 1 cup that we just put in. So we're going to leave it again, cover for another 7 minutes, and then after that we are going to open it out and allow all of this now to simmer down to the dryness and the consistency we want in the bunjay. So it's been 7 minutes again, so we took it out. These chicken, it doesn't take a long time to cook. It's a softer based chicken, so you don't want to overcook it at the same time. So now what we're going to do is leave this open to kind of dry out a little bit of the water, because what you want is actually it's a bunjay, right? So you want it to dry down in its own water. So this is the process now of allowing it to evaporate, finish cooking, and then getting it to the texture that you so want it. So probably another 3 minutes or so, because there's still a lot of water there. As you see, we only cook with 1 cup, but because it keeps, you know, producing its water, it cooks in its own water. So we'll say about 3 minutes, or until you see like it's drying out. You don't want it to burn, so you just take it off at that point. This is all ready now. So remember the process. We started with the meat marinating in its own water for about 2 minutes, then another 2 minutes, then we add a cup of water, and that cooked for 14 minutes, and then we remove the cover from the pot and it cooked for an additional 3 minutes. This is your bunjay. It's all done, it's ready. We're gonna just, you know, put a little bit of green onion over this now, and it's ready to be plated and served. So there you have it, guys, your bunjay chicken. Alright, so we just added some green onion to finish it off, and again, just to show you the texture of it, this is a bunjay. Okay, see, there's not a lot of gravy in it, but if you're making curried chicken, the difference between curried chicken and bunjay chicken is that this is dried down. As you could see, it's dried down. Curried chicken or chicken curry, you make it with a lot of gravy so that it's used when you're cooking your rice or you're eating it with roti. Okay, enjoy. Hope you try it. Gives us a thumbs up and whatever else my daughter say. Blah blah blah.